All right.
All right.
Oh boy.
Talked in a bit.
All right. Bye.
It mentioned before you were setting up for the breach that was happening outside.
I arrived on scene and I was directed to a rooftop.
Right. So you're on scene before they started breaching outside.
They were already leaving the bank by the time I was directed.
I came a little late.
Was the hostage handed over at that point?
I don't know.
Did you ask any sort of clarification question of why the breach was necessary?
No, it was already ongoing when I got the phone call.
Wait,
At
these
that
are
point,
lies.
Stop to ask would have agitated the situation, but I did not.
Did you recognize the threat when the hostage was inside or outside the building?
I don't know. I wasn't on scene.
Mm-hmm.
This is when Hades got mag dumped.
Before you shot, was the hostage handed over?
I don't know. I didn't shoot at the house. I didn't shoot at. I don't know. I didn't shoot at what happened. I was placed in a different part of the area.
Oh my God.
Okay. I guess the final question is, the report mentions fleeing felon. Does the police usually shoot the suspects when they leave a fleet robbery?
I think I can object here. I'm trying to find the objection. Cause for speculation? Question mark. I don't know.
I thought the
court lingo,
report
but
said that they made the decision.
again, you're not asking for factual. You're asking for assumptions. I don't know what you're getting at. She's not a person.
Let me be specific. In her experience, does the police usually shoot the suspects when they leave a fleet of robbery?
I'll just say, Miss Hilbert, just speak to scenes you have been on, not every police scene at all.
On scenes that I have been on personally, this was the first time.
How many scenes have you been, or not, sorry. In your experience, have you been on, how many scenes have you been on, ballpark?
I couldn't even answer that if I tried.
Would numerous be accurate?
I mean, I couldn't answer that if I tried.
Not a number, but
Yeah, no, that's like asking how many sweeties are in a jar. It could be any. It could be as many. At least one. I've been on at least one scene.
okay. How long have you been an officer for?
Good question. Maybe 6 months.
So this was like your first robbery before that you responded to, or?
Objection, relevance.
Wait, that is relevant.
Yeah, what's the relevance if it's our first scene or top?
It's
41st?
experience,
Or
officer
what's the
experience, which is the fundamental for probable cause and
well,
making judgments.
Defendant here is they're not really giving an actual answer much, so we're just trying to lay foundation and get a ballpark just for the court's understanding.
Yeah, Trigg.
Yeah, my original objection still stands. Relevance.
Yeah, Tony, you said what you're trying to get, what answer you're trying to get. The objection is
Oh
to
my
why
God, this
what is
hurts.
this metal.
You can destroy this easily. We're laying foundation as to
Not
her
say-
experience
doesn't, I
and
want you to
understanding
say
of
it,
what
not to say what you're trying to get.
like what a Fleeca
well,
bank
I'm gonna ask for
robbery is
experience and what,
like.
at least like in the ballpark if they can't like. I'm trying to establish.
I
how
don't
many
even know why
scenes
the
they've been
judge
on
is
to really
accepting
talk
this.
about, the
Officer experience is the
how
basis
usual
of
it is
probable cause of making decisions on
for
a scene.
police to shoot suspects in general.
And then again, my counter rebuttal to that is every scene is different.
It doesn't matter. They follow a similar
Someone to
paradigm.
explain, there is no red thread. Every single scene is different. There's people involved. There's different vehicles involved. There's weather involved. Like you're asking someone to create a chicken out of a feather. This is again relevance.
Okay, give me a sec.
That's not a valid objection to this. This shouldn't even be debated.
So, but we've established that Stevie wasn't the one that made the call. She wasn't there when the call was made. And if what you're trying to get to is, you know, should this call have been made? It seems those questions would be yourself or the person that made the call.
Say that last part again.
I said it seems that these kind of questions would be better set for the person that made the call for the breach and not someone who else testified they weren't there on scene when the call was made.
I thought she made the call.
But it's reasonable to ask why they didn't override it when they did get on scene.
Exactly.
You're trying to back that by asking baseless questions on an incredibly volatile situation.
That's not for PD to decide.
Was not on the scene.
Yo, object, Tony. Tell him to shut up.
Know what they said. So you're
He can't.
essentially
He's
asking
literally
an open-ended
testifying.
question. You're asking how long is the rope, but she cannot, under any circumstance, give a proper answer.
Oh my lord. Oh my god. I'm gonna. I need to start training lawyers.
I think there's a different way you can get to where you want to go, Tony, but the way the question was asked, I'll sustain.
Oh my god, I want to go help him so bad right now. Tony needs other people with him. Even if when you're a solo against an entire room, it's tough as it is. He needs his backing right now.
Okay.
You got this. They need
on average in your experience.
You got this.
The
PD. Oh my god, this hurts. I'm dying.
Again, objection. Relevancy.
PD's saying relevance. They're coming up with a bullshit reason, and it's being allowed.
Again, it's her experience. How often she said it was her first time, so I'm wondering, in general, like.
Wait, her first Fleeca?
Whether it's under her command or whether as an officer.
Hold on. She never said it was her first time.
She said that in her response to me.
She said she's been on at least one.
No. She said this specific one was the first one. At least one. No, when it ends in a shootout, she said it was the first time.
Okay, right. The way you said it in your rebuttal made it sound like this was the first robbery she'd ever been on.
No, I was trying to assess how many.
Come on, Tony, you got this, baby.
So looking at the way Tony told this, and given that they are suing for excessive force, the establishment of a regular use of force is pretty relevant to determine if what happened here was excessive. So I'll overrule the objection.
Can I rebut at all?
I'll hear it.
This situation is an anomaly from the fact that if you read the report, you could easily tell that the shakers were threatening
Tony?
the hostage again, which she did not know. So you're again asking
The counselor keeps
completely baseless questions.
testifying.
Like, you're omitting the fact that the hostage in this case was also a one-off.
Okay.
Wait a second here.
Oh,
Are you
no,
testifying to
Tony,
that right now, or is that
Tony,
like
Tony,
Well,
be
Your
quiet.
Honor,
Tony,
I'm about to make an
I-
objection check because that's testifying.
I can handle the courtroom, Tony. Trigg, the things you're saying, not on these, they aren't on the record, they aren't being taken as evidence. But they do seem like valid points to bring up in the defense of yourselves and your case. Just as Tony may be allowed to ask these questions that you think don't go anywhere, you're allowed to also point out those things that you feel and those things that you've mentioned that are in the report as part of your defense to bolster the case. You said you're not that experienced
Okay,
with that.
understood.
That's better served for your defense and not in objections, okay?
All right, I don't do court a lot. Sorry.
It's fine. So just to double check, Tony, your question was, how often do fleeker robberies end up in shootouts?
Yep.
That's quite a broad term. Do you mean as in just end in shootouts or end in the manner this did? Because end in shootout, I would say over 50%. And in the way that this one did, it was my first experience. I can't speak for other officers.
Huh.
It says here in the report that Hale and Trigg
It's over
were
50%, but
contacted
this-
by Bean and informed that a breach
Hold on, let
was
me think about that,
imminent.
Your Honor.
Why was there a contact? Why did he contact them? I think she's lying. Why would Bean contact her randomly? Yo, by the way, we're doing it.
Actually,
Obviously, it was
I'm
for
gonna do
permission.
that. Yeah, I'll
I don't know
I'll
if you
rest- I'll rest
understood
from
her
there.
answer.
Yeah, I think you're
To be honest.
misunderstanding
No,
my
I-
answer. I think
I-
you're
I
misunderstanding
did.
my answer. That
well,
you're
no,
saying like
I'm
ending a
good.
shootout. You're on about the overarching ending up
Objection.
going on a chase that ends with them turning
Objection.
around and shooting at the end of it. Over 50%.
No, the way the second that they walk out, you know what I'm
No,
saying?
as I said previously, I've already answered this. This was my first experience of them walking out and getting shot.
Tony's getting beat here, man.
All right, yeah, I'm good off that.
Okay. Trigg, do you have any cross-examination for Stevie?
Yeah, sure.
You get to ask all questions about what Tony just asked her about.
Okay. Miss Hale, you mentioned on the phone that 7 days were called, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And Tony here asked what the 7
It
days
even
means.
says
Could you
Officer Bean,
iterate
who
that,
took the
please?
lead, confirmed that Stevie
Means drop
Hale
everything you're
that the
doing.
suspects would be
Every unit on duty
considered
must respond to this
fleeing
call if it's an
felons,
officer emergency.
and they would be open, fired
Right.
upon when they led.
And when you had that phone call, you said again that 7 days were called, correct?
Yes.
I'm just asking Andrew. Can you get to the point?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
fine.
the point is really simple. Did you have time to stand and argue the decision when 78 is called?
No. I must respond immediately and just listen to what the lead of the scene is telling me.
Do you have authority over Bean? Is it your jurisdiction?
Thank you.
Was it your
Let's see.
jurisdiction?
Can
Were
I
you
ask any
contacted
question or
prior
just
to the
questions?
breach?
that.
Were you
yeah,
aware it was taking
like,
place?
this is
Did you
the-
ask any
as long as it's within the
questions
scope
about
of
why
what,
the breach was taking place?
Tony asked.
If it wasn't about permission, then
okay.
what was the call about?
You are also welcome to call Stevie up on your side and ask her direct questions, which aren't confined to the scope of what Tony asked.
Okay.
That is your choice as a defense.
I believe this is within scope. How many bank robberies, was it Mace bank robberies you said? Sorry, Fleeka bank robberies, are exactly the same?
None.
Objection, Your Honor. If I can't answer how many she's been to, I don't think he can answer or ask about how many are the same. Because he objected to when I asked how many. So to ask a general blanket question like that, it's kind of from the same spirit, if you know what I mean.
Rebuttal to that is that you actually got an answer.
Wait.
Tony, you were allowed to ask her. You asked how many flickers have you been on? You said couldn't answer if I tried. You said numerous. Couldn't answer at least one. It's like asking how many sweeties are in a jar. So I do think that this is within the scope, based on, you were asking about, where is it? How often do fleeker robberies end in shootouts? Asking about the nature of fleeker robberies in general seems to be within the scope. So
Yeah.
overruled.
Okay, again, Miss Hill, how many Fleeka robberies are exactly the same?
None. All of them are different.
Ah!
Who could have thunk?
Wait.
Okay, let me think for a second. What else?
What is this argument?
I mean, it was brought up a little bit. But
That's like saying
oftentimes,
no one.
In your experience,
They're claiming they can't be
oftentimes when a
expert
Fleeka
witnesses in this
bank
case.
Fleeka bank robbery happens. You mentioned that probably about 50% end up in a shootout, correct?
Yes.
Right. Okay, so in your opinion, based on the experience that you have and the at least one bank robbery you've been to, how many of those would you say end in an aggressive manner where people's lives are threatened?
Not that many. As I said, this situation was the first I've experienced a hostage being threatened.
Sorry, let me refer. No, I meant how many of the Fleeka Bank robberies you have been a part of in general ends up with somebody getting shot? I'm not talking about the hostage.
Oh,
I'm
just
talking
in
about
general?
the. Yes.
Oh, as I said, over like 50%, if not more.
So you would say that that is indeed a very sorry, I'm drawing a blank on the word here. A very dangerous situation to be in.
Yes.
Okay. Let me think. So I believe Tony opened up scope for this as well. But actually, was it overruled? I can't remember. The whole BCSO.
Blank.
Was that overruled?
That's very accurate.
It was asked, was this in Ellis County? Yes. Was that in your jurisdiction at the time? Yes. Where does Bean work? BCSO. That's the questions we had about counties and departments and jurisdictions.
Okay, fine. All right. So the lead on this scene was a BCSO officer, correct?
Yes.
Would that be Austin or Houston, Bean?
Houston Bean.
Houston, Bean. Do you know of Houston Bean? Have you done a lot of robberies with him in the past?
Objections. Relevance?
I'm trying to ascertain if
Have you done robberies?
he is able to trust his judgment.
Sure. It may have been, phrasing thing, but the way you worded it made it sound like she's been robbing things with Houston Bean, as in you responded to robberies.
How many times have you? Let me rephrase that. How many times have you?
Yeah, they
responded
fucking
to
when they take 95s
robberies
up
where
north.
Houston Bean has been present or leading.
Objection scope. I didn't ask how many of it was where Houston was involved in. Just ask her for general experience. But also relevant.
I think I want to. Sorry, go on, Your Honor.
No, I'll hear your rebuttal, Trigg.
She was trying to. He was trying to talk about overridal of scenes, which is really just served for the fact that somebody is inexperienced, no matter which department. And I'm trying to ascertain whether Houston Bean is an experienced officer capable of making his own decisions.
Okay. Looking back at the questioning, the line of questioning of, why didn't you overrule, stuff like that, that was objected to and sustained. So we never actually went down that path.
Okay, then I withdraw my question. I think I'm done. I don't have any other questions.
Okay. Tony, do you have any redirect based on Trigg's cross?
Yeah, sure. Since we talked about hostage threats, Miss Hale, inherently, isn't a hostage always under threat since they're a hostage?
Technically, yes. However, saying that they generally are not aggressive towards them, they don't threaten their lives. Usually they want to exchange the hostage in good faith.
But inherently, the hostage is always under threat for their lives. Otherwise, there would be no need for negotiation, correct?
Technically, yes.
What do you mean? Brother,
You mentioned good faith.
Wait,
was
what
the
are these
negotiation broken in bad
answers?
faith?
To answer
What?
that, I wasn't part of the conversation.
Huh. Okay, I just want to ask about the hostage thing. I'm good.
Okay, Stevie, you're free to step down. I don't know if you wish to testify as part of the defense, but Trigg can ask you questions. You guys can discuss that. If not, you're free to leave.
Thank you, Your Honor.
If you're not needed.
Am I needed, Trigg? You want me back up here?
Can we confer before or?
Yeah, you guys can speak about it.
Unless I missed it in the beginning, I love Tony, but man, he did not ask the right questions. He really needed a drill about why that phone call took place between Bean and her prior to the breach. That means she had knowledge before it happened. She needs to explain why that call occurred. She was in control as the highest ranking member on scene and on duty to make a decision. And that was very important. Man, I wish I was here earlier. In court. Man, I begin to realize how much people need me to help with law-related shit. I want to help people like Tony stand over there and be like, no, it is okay to yell. They fucking shot down individuals in cold fucking blood.
Yeah. Your Honor, I'm going to be recalled. Or what? I'm going to be... Yeah, but for now, Trigg.
All right, Tony, I assume you're calling Trigg to the stand now?
Yeah, I'm also going to treat him as a hostile witness.
He's inherently hostile because he's on the other side.
Hell yeah. Appreciated, Your Honor. Just want to make that known now.
Good luck.
Okay, Trigg, can you use your left hand for me?
We all need some luck in this city.
Do you swear on affirm that the testimony you're about to give today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury, so help you Sam?
I do.
It's sworn in.
Hey, Trigg, how's it going?
Yeah, defense
Well, you know,
attorneys
I could
have
out
to be
there saving
vicious.
lives, but
In real life,
instead
they're
I'm quite
vicious
clear
too,
it is,
because
completely
it's like a
useless
defense
torture.
thing.
You know, we can't, beggars can't be choosers, right?
Yeah, could have been done 2 months ago, but it's whatever. I could have retired already. But hey,
mean, could
like
have
you
also
said, beggars
used a
can't be choosers.
proper- You know, you could have also used a proper time date format that is officially recognized rather than your make one.
Hey, well, guess what? UTC to my dick, EST on top.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, you were referring to EST when it was actually just EDT, so maybe you should get your ducks in a
Hey,
row.
hey, hey, we don't use EDT. Stop, stop.
Hey,
No,
Tony,
stop.
Trigg, I
Tony,
only
the-
believe in one arm of the
Any-
justice
any
part
more
where I
of
get
the-
to shoot
the
people.
time
That's
zone
sort
banner, and I'll
of
get you
what I
innocent
heard.
contempt.
I also,
What does that mean?
yeah,
You want to find out?
it's also very,
Where did I put my questions?
to be honest, Tony is
there it
kind of throwing. He didn't
Mr. Trigg,
highlight
were you involved with incident
why-
number 12041?
the lead officer
What was your rank at the time? of the incident?
conducted the phone call to her
Captain.
prior to the actions that were taken.
Let's
it seems
see
obvious
here.
She's hiding the
The report
details
mentions you
of
had
what that
You had to
call
relay 2 calls to Hale before she
would
relayed to
have
the units
been
on the
for,
radio.
if
Why
not
couldn't you radio
to
the units yourself?
have her
Because
sign
I'm
off
in a
on the
medical condition.
decision.
Medical condition. What was the medical condition?
I had trouble speaking in English, and I had suffered a major brain trauma, so I was simply riding with Hale. I was not acting in the official capacity of a captain.
But you were acting in official capacity of an officer
Correct?
with brain trauma.
Correct?
Oh, holy shit. Your Honor, can I have like a moment to like approach this topic tactfully? Mr. Trigg, I'm so sorry I had to go through that.
And he's just another one of the black kids, and he's reaching for the
Tiny
shoe
cannot be a
squeaks
dick.
on the floor, but it's just a ref, and he's still hitting. Bro, Barrett is just too funny. Earlier he said, he goes, I'm losing my mind at
Sorry,
the
just
trial, and he
briefly,
goes,
what causes
it's like watching blind kids play dodgeball,
brain
and
trauma?
then goes, yeah, Tony's
So
just
you're
another one of the
asking
blind
me
kids, and he's
what
reaching to the
causes
shoe
brain
squeaks
injury?
on
What
the
did-
floor,
what did
but
you
it's just the
experience
ref,
cause
and
that
he's still
down?
hitting the stands.
I
Oh my
can't
God.
recall exactly.
It's not mean. You have to be assertive, right?
Is he victim blaming, Your Honor?
Not yet. It's getting there though.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The report didn't mention any sort of medical conditions that severe.
I also have a tumor.
Damn.
I'm leaving. I'm about to leave.
Damn. Damn, Trigg, I am so sorry for you.
I don't need your pity. I may have suffered brain trauma and I had a tumor, but I'm still doing better than you.
I don't know about that. I mean, I saved the jetpack,
Was he
wiped off 4 charges for a mayor that probably deserved the charges.
operating?
So let's get to a question, Tony.
Yeah. Holy shit. Given the fact that he has brain damage at the time of this event, I think I'll leave it at that. He says he wasn't acting in capacity of captain. He had brain damage on duty. Then I'll leave those facts on hand. You're good, Trigg.
Can I amend my statement? I suffered brain trauma before, which aggravated my tumor, which caused me to have an issue with the English language, which, by the way, I understand completely fine. But I talk Swedish during these times.
Was this when you had your robot speaking for you?
Yes, correct.
Okay, Tony, does that change things?
Wait. Am I allowed to object to that amendment? I mean, he didn't submit anything to substantiate any of that. He just said he had brain trauma.
There is medical. I mean, you could have done your job before and had a, well,
I
I don't know,
I don't have
conversation
to
with
ask for
Dave?
your medical records to prove excessive force.
Okay,
What
hold
the fuck?
on. You're objecting to his elaboration on what he was meaning?
Yeah.
Um,
In that case,
I mean,
I'll
that's
continue
your
with
choice.
Maybe,
I'm gonna
but-
object to it, but if he's gonna amend it to like that, he's gonna elaborate that he wasn't mentally impaired. Then I'm gonna ask him this, right?
Well, hold on. If you're only asking it because of what he said, then we need to allow it on the record.
I'm going ahead and strike that amendment then and leave his testimony as is.
Okay.
Are we done here, or?
Yeah,
Bro.
we're done with Trigg then?
I should have next time, Ray,
I'll leave it
you
there for
kill
now,
them.
yeah.
Okay.
Next time you kill them.
Stevie, any questions for
Yeah,
that on those? Okay.
just two. Trigg, were you cleared by a doctor to be on duty?
Hey, sir?
Objection, Your Honor. I didn't ask about medical evaluations or anything like that.
You did ask, were you acting as an officer? So to me, that asking if he was cleared by a doctor to act as an officer seems in the scope.
No, he said he wasn't acting as a captain. I asked if he was acting as an officer instead then.
Right.
That still is.
I was
If he was
so
medically
well, I mean
impaired,
that
that means he's cleared. He has to be cleared it somehow. And by what?
Bro,
well, I didn't ask about his medical
I-
thing besides the fact that
I-
his apparent injury, but nothing further than that. Whether
I-
or not he was medically evaluated, I didn't ask about that.
I don't know what's more
If you
concerning
wanna
to
know if
me.
He was operating the capacity of an officer.
Tony-
surely that is
I
falling
don't
under
know
his
that
fold it-
justifies
medical
being out of scope.
Tony's performance here,
judge.
So Tony, you're saying
Or
it's out of
the
scope because you didn't
clearly obvious
ask about his
cover up.
medical
I'm hearing.
evaluation.
Yeah, I mean, like Big Dog, like I asked if he said himself he wasn't acting as a captain. I'm just clarifying, was he acting as an officer?
I mean, I can re-ask the question. a
What
different way, that would
happened
make it better.
happened,
Sure. Question withdrawn.
but covering
Trigg,
up
who allowed you to be on
with
duty acting as an officer.
deceitful
A medical personnel
answers,
doctor.
Thank you. And were you of sound mind when the event occurred?
deceitful / coy
Deceitful.
answers
Thank you. That's all, Your Honor.
worries me about
Okay,
the
Tony, any redirect?
long-term credibility. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
don't
Trigg, you're free
understand
to step down.
wanting to be a law
you and Stevie can
enforcement
talk about whether you're
officer
also going to be called back
and
up,
not-
or just Stevie.
being willing to stand by your mistakes for the greater good. I know she told me she made the call.
We're not calling me again. However, the defense is calling Stevie Hale as a witness.
Okay, Stevie.
Brother,
coming
I
up.
literally have PD command
still
telling
on
me
the
they
list,
refuse to
so
make
you're gonna
patrol
Thank you,
following
Your
some
Honor.
basic foundational evidence collection guidelines. Main chain.
Hello, Miss Hale.
What?
How are you
Hello.
doing?
Could be better, but you know, it's a Friday,
Uh,
so it can only get better.
Yeah.
let's chat on that. There are some things I'm working on,
Okay.
and perhaps some of those
So,
things you're referencing can be a part of it. New legislation. Simple things like don't take seized weapons to the roof and
have you been
magnum.
present at
Oh, to be honest,
one scene where there has been
they
another
aren't
primary,
documenting the
officer
test.
in charge that is a lower rank than you.
Yes.
Okay. And how would you do you have an approximation on how many times that would be on a BCSO officer versus an LSPD officer?
I mean, a lot. Again, I can't make. I just can just say a lot.
What?
Okay, understood.
OOC Brian Knight always documents with photos each and every fire and then grabs and tags it.
A BCSO officer.
Like Brian throwing the ballistics in the trash.
Robbery.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, OOC,
Take over the scene or whatever
in
you wanna call
character,
it.
Brian started doing that because of the
Not
announcement.
often, and it's usually high command.
Yeah.
Going
Prior to
back
that, I actually documented it.
Before. And how many times have those situations
Yeah.
been a 78 call?
Tell me I didn't.
Can you say that
If
again?
you don't-
Sorry.
Well, and how many times where this overrule thing has happened was a 78 call?
Not many often.
All right.
It's a touchy subject.
Uh,
There's no
have you
way.
worked with,
It's not even a lot of
Houston
work.
Bean
Hold on.
scenes before?
Yes.
When did I used to patrol? Back in
Would you say
February?
that Houston Bean is a competent officer and leader of a scene.
Yes.
Do you trust Houston Bean to do the correct decisions?
Yes.
All right. Are we encouraged to take
She
over
literally told
scenes,
me she
that
called the
we might
shot,
not have full
by the way.
insight into?
No. Not unless we get full insight.
Huh. And when a 78's call happens, would you say that there's time and a place for having a little chat about what's going on before somebody gets shot?
No. It's an all unit response. Listen to the leader. Listen to the lead.
Oh my God. He has a chance right here.
Right. So again, you said it's
You have a
all
chance
available units
right
respond,
here
enforcing
since
quick and time,
scope is
and
open.
listen to the scene lead, correct?
Why was there a
Do
phone
you have
call
time
from
to
Bean?
think, is this a BCSO officer or an LSPD officer?
What
making
was
that
the
call?
purpose of the
No.
call?
Huh.
Did he tell
the
you
phone.
what he was
That's all I
planning?
had, Your Honor.
Did you agree with it?
Okay. Tony, any cross?
Miss Hale, do you outrank Deputy Houston
Not right now. No.
at the time of the events?
I did. Yes.
Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. Stevie, you're free to step down.
Thank you.
Appreciate you all for your testimonies today. Given that we have gotten people out of the way that may have held up scheduling, I will endeavor to get this scheduled as soon as I can.
All right. Make sure you do it in UTC, Your Honor, please.
Thank
Yep,
you, Your
I will.
Honor.
Thank
Alright.
you.
Thank you all.
No, I think he did all right.
And this is why UTC is better.
Trouble.
Yeah. Oh, here we
There
go.
you
All right.
Jesus.
Yeah, let's chit chat about that. I think I remember now what
Yeah.
I wanted to chat with you about.
No.
Yeah. Oh no, it was from the earlier thing. Where is everybody? Where are all your clients?
I'm pretty sure Ray is sick. He hasn't been around for a few days.
Oh, he's sick. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just didn't understand why You're like, bye here by yourself.
Well, it was kind of like haphazardly put together for this deposition. There's like, hey, you guys want to start like as of from this time onward, and like
Yeah.
they responded, and I was like, okay, we'll go through with it.
Easy. Oh yeah.
It was kind of a last minute thing.
Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah. Sorry I didn't see your your thing during the thing.
No, you're good. Are you have you been meeting up with Marty at all?
I haven't been around as much as when he's around. I talked with him once after the debate, sort of talked to him about some of the things that we're putting together. But as far as like putting these together with Marty since then, nah.
Yeah, only reason I ask is like I know you wake up like later than he does, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Try to catch up with him when I can. But I
Yeah.
was able to catch him after the debates and then caught for a little bit.
I've texted him a couple times, but like I think at time I think by the time like I free up, he's like finishing up. So
Okay.
yeah. All right.
Okay,
Well,
I think I might get going. I might
yeah,
sit
yeah.
down and
All right.
and just the fact that there was a captain with brain damage on duty.
Yeah. All right. Hey.
Yeah, take care, Tony.
All right. All right. Let's go outside, I guess.
However,
Yeah, all right.
critique, you weren't objecting enough. You've got
He
to
was
throw
objecting
objections out.
fine. You were asleep for half of it, which is why I placed you in front of the goddamn window.
Hey, Tony, you play dodgeball?
Me? No.
No.
Oh man.
Anyways, you guys have a good